Hello everyone, my name is Sebastian, and I am one of the Sunrise Northeast Action Coaches. I came from a family where we were different than 99% of the people in my home. My mom is Catholic and my dad is Jewish, and they decided to raise us in both religions growing up, so we were able to experience both sides of the family. And then when we were older, we were able to choose if we wanted to be Catholic or Jewish, or neither, or something completely different. So we went to CCD on Wednesdays and Hebrew school on Saturdays. This was definitely an auspicious beginning, as we were maybe one of 3 Jewish families in a majority Catholic, white, and conservative area that was characterized, or that I would characterize as less than accepting of anything against the grain. There were multiple occasions where swastikas were found around the school in library books or carved into desks, or when anti-Semitic remarks were made to me or my brothers, but to be very honest, I didn't remember these particularly bothering me growing up. Or at least I didn't understand how what these actions were trying to do, just that they were happening. The first time I can actually remember feeling the brunt of this difference was not even due to the criticisms and hatred coming from classmates who were not Jewish, but from the community I was a part of that made me and my brothers the subject to this hate. One day after school in 7th grade, I remember sitting at the on my bus ride home, staring out the window when one of my only Jewish friends in the district came up to me and asked if I was going to the first day of Hebrew school that afternoon. I told my friend that I was sure that I was, even though I had no clue what she was talking about, and ran home from the bus stop because I knew I would have to be in a hurry if I was to make it to Hebrew school in time. Barged through the door and called for my dad to ask for clarification as to what was going on. I remember seeing the look in his eyes when he heard what I was talking about, and the feeling of uncertainty where he took me into the living room and sat me down. He told me that the congregation, the place where I'd spent so much time in preschool, Hebrew school, and the holidays, the place where I was able to be around people like me when I lived in a place that was so not that, decided that we were no longer welcome due to our involvement in the church on my mom's side, and that this was not a small decision, but one that was made up to that had made its way up to the highest levels of the congregation. I remember my stomach dropping out, my heart racing, and tears starting to pool in my eyes. I remember feeling the hurt and isolation that comes from being cast out from a group that was not only made you feel different, but in some way special. A group that I thought I made lasting friendships, not only with students like me, but also adults, who I respected and cared for. I felt alone, confused, and even a little scared. I was about to turn 13, the age at which a boy becomes a bar mitzvah in the Jewish faith, a moment that you literally talk about your entire life, and a moment I was never going to have and was beginning to mourn. Although my grandfather was adamant to still have me study my Torah portion with him. And it's what my Torah portion was about that I still remember to this day. Tolerance, understanding, not casting out others who are different from you, but embracing and accepting them. Totally different than what I was experiencing at that moment, that formidable moment in my childhood, but a lesson I learned that day and it carried with me since. Fast forward 8 years, this time I'm abroad in Switzerland, working for a research lab and being in a new culture in a new place where I didn't know anyone and had trouble communicating, already making me feel isolated and alone. Little did I know when I woke up that day in October, the feelings of isolation that I had felt up to that point were only the start. On October 27th, 2018, at about 10 a.m., the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, PA, the synagogue that finally accepted my family, and allowed us to participate as members of the congregation after years of hopping from synagogue to synagogue for holiday services, was under attack. An anti-Semitic, right-wing terrorist had invaded the place of worship on Shabbat morning services and took the life of 11 individuals and wounded 6 others before he was stopped and apprehended. I can still feel the chills that ran down my spine when I started to receive the first texts and calls from family and friends about the tragedy and watching it play out from, so far away. So much unknown at the time and feeling so hopeless and again isolated. This time not because of being cast out of the community that I called home, but because of a real and malicious and terrifying threat on human life caused by anti-Semitic and xenophobic sentiments. The lessons of my Torah portion kept running through my head. How can there be so much hatred in this world, so much intolerance, so much fear? That moment reinvigorated my commitment to making sure no one felt like I felt in that moment. Scared, alone, under attack, and my commitment to creating spaces where people not only feel comfortable, but celebrated for who they are and what makes them special. Today, I see the same thing happening all over. except this time the ones who are supposed to be protecting are killing. The racial injustice that has persisted along that of other marginalized groups through the institutionalized racism and social pressures in this country stretches to every aspect of life. Healthcare, housing, education, and the environment, and so much more. It is more evident now than ever that as this pandemic has shown us how grossly unequipped we are as a society to protect our most vulnerable. We need immediate change. The current movement for Black Lives is just the beginning. We must push and hold accountable each and every one of the actors in our political system to ensure real and measurable change is made. Because there is no liberation without revolution, and time is up, people. We must call for the liberation of all people, including indigenous sovereignty, ending the state of violence through the abolition of all oppressive systems, including the policing and carceral systems, addressing the climate crisis and healthcare and economic injustices in response to COVID-19 relief. This is only a short list of what needs to be done and what needs to be done now. I look around the world today and I feel scared. I feel under attack, and I feel just like I did when I heard my father tell me we were no longer welcome in our synagogue, or when I saw the explicit hate and violence happening at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. Not only for myself, but for so many people I love and care about, including every single one of you here today. But one thing I don't feel is alone. Moments like this where I can look around me and see all the love and passion from people who believe in the same things as I do, believe in tolerance, believe in understanding, believe in love, believe in creating spaces that celebrate who people are and protecting them from people who don't. Believe in standing up for what is right and demanding that wrongs be mended. That is what gives me hope. For not only the immediate future and for the current election and rough months to follow, but for the long term. John may think he has won through his lives when his vote is counted and voice is heard. Together we will protect those who need protecting. Together we will defend our futures. Together, we are a powerful and vocal majority. Together, we stand for all.